Hey, is your grill nasty? Is it missing some parts? Do you need a new grill? Well, give Dan the Grill Man a call. He is literally the best grill maintenance company on the Emerald Coast. Literally. Look him up on Facebook.com/Fresh and Clean Grill. That's Dan the Grill Man. Literally the best. Hey, is your grill?
You are so awesome.
Hey guys, welcome to the Driveway Liberty Podcast. I am your Uncle Wes, and I'm sitting here on this fine Tuesday windy evening with my good friends Travis and Dan. Over to my left, got Dan Manichero, the grill man himself, is up in here. What's going on, buddy? You doing all right?
Yeah, doing well. Got to hang watching you a little bit last night. It was fun.
Hey man, I appreciate it, dude.
Missed the debate live, so I'd rather see Wes live than the debate live.
Well, I appreciate that.
And then I listened to the debate. Listen to the debate. I can't fucking talk right now.
Right?
I listened to the debate today.
Yeah, I did the same.
Yeah, so
Because I love our governor, I watched live.
Well, you know, I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, it is what it is.
Yep. Speaking of which,
So be it.
we got my friend Travis. I used to call him good friend.
Travis, the beer captain,
oh,
Horn, right?
That's him.
That's me. So this is my new official boating hat. So
I'm wearing the same shirt as in the commercial.
Yeah, he is.
my favorite part of the commercial is the picture from your mom's funeral.
Dude, I swear I didn't know. I thought it was a hilarious picture. The look on your face, which it's kind of understandable now at this point. So definitely understand the look on your face right now. So,
I do like Dan. Nice relaxed pose, man. Thank you.
you right?
You're getting better.
I'm
You practiced it
chilled
last night, I heard.
Chill tonight. I did, and I announced it to the crowd.
All right.
Right?
Okay.
You know what was hilarious is Wes said there's some celebrities in the crowd tonight, and he's like, "This is Dan from the Driveway Liberty podcast," and people actually clapped.
Yes. Right? Yeah, man.
I waved. It was awesome.
Dan was eating that shit up. Another funny thing Dan did last night. All right, so I couldn't see the crowd from where I was at.
You had the lights in your face.
I had lights in my face, so I made the comments.
Bright lights.
So Dan gets up with his cell phone and turns his flashlight on his cell phone, walks around shining people in the audience.
How many Hooter Browns did you have?
All of them. He had all.
I had a coffee first.
He had all.
And then I had two.
That's
Hooter
probably
Browns.
what it was. Dan's all hopped up and
I
then
had
gets a little buzz
two
from the Hooter
Hooter
Browns.
Browns.
Right?
He's like running around like, woo!
He was
I
having
needed
a
a
good time.
coffee.
I'll be on you like a spider monkey.
Right? Dude, yeah. What's funny is I walked out into the crowd and then Dan got up and followed me around with the flashlight so people could see me.
Well, what happened? I went to the bathroom, and then I came out, and you were gone. I'm like, Andy, where's Wes? I hear music. Where's? And I look out, and you walk through the crowd. I said, all right, I got to give him a little stage
Yeah,
light.
little lights, yeah.
So I lit him up.
So Dan is the unofficial light man for the West Herndon tour.
I like it.
right.
Yeah. And so we're gonna put his ass to work doing that.
There you go.
Absolutely. So
all right. So we're going to talk about last night's debate.
Yep.
Or if you're not watching this live on YouTube and you haven't liked, shared, and subscribed, shame on you first.
Absolutely, shame on you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else you need to do. Anyways, debate between Charlie Crist and
Heavy
our
D.
beloved God King Heavy D.
Right.
And you know, I watched it live, and I went back and watched some stuff, and I think sometimes my expectations are too high. I just think, because I was just waiting on like a verbal beatdown. Then I thought, it wasn't that great. And then I watched some more today. I'm like, it was a verbal beatdown.
Yeah.
Maybe not to the level I would have liked it. I thought there was a couple misses, but
Yes.
Well, I think, to DeSantis' credit and his detriment, he missed some opportunities just to lay the smack down right all over Charlie Crist. Now, he took the high road. And I get it. And he kind of followed the rules. And and Crist took advantage of that. But Crist is, he's punching from behind here.
Yeah, and
From way behind.
In almost every exchange, Chris brought up abortion.
yeah.
Every exchange.
I think you were going to the bathroom, Dan. I told Les, my daughter is 15, her friend who's 15 lives in the neighborhood there at my house, debates on. And literally 15 minutes in, every time Charlie Crist would get asked a question, he'd go to respond. They would just start with, but abortion, like they're mocking him like 15 minutes in.
Making fun of him.
It was like an economic question. He said nothing about economics.
Right.
The very first question. Yeah.
Yeah, and just talked about a woman's right to choose.
Yes.
Like, wait, what?
And then
Wait,
he did
yeah.
that whole
Is that-
spiel,
yeah.
and then he said, to answer your question, and he had like 15 seconds left.
Right. And who was it? We saw the meme. Somebody put the WhatsApp or the Instagram
clown
face on him.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, that looks just like him. I mean, that's Charlie Crist.
So, but can I tell you my main takeaway from the whole debate?
Sure, buddy. You can tell him.
You can set all the rules you want to. You can warn people. You can do whatever. All that. I don't believe our political opponents care about the rules.
No,
Last night's debate.
Neither did the crowd.
No.
Well,
It's
that's
obvious
what I
they
mean.
don't care about it.
Right? They had 50 activists, or however many activists. It
Yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't some elected officials coming in there.
Right.
It was 50 activists screaming and hollering at the top of their lungs, heckling DeSantis. Charlie Crist was, going out of bounds, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, to me, that was my biggest takeaway. Like, oh, well, okay, I guess
Well,
rules no longer apply.
We shouldn't be surprised because
that's absolutely the way they play, man. They do not follow the rules. What they do is, and this is the Linsky method. They hold conservatives to a higher standard than they themselves are willing to live in.
well, they just look back to the 2016 election. They jumped up and were screaming in front of Bernie Sanders when he was on the stage.
Right.
They did it in the 2018 midterms. If they don't agree with the person who is presenting their case, they're just going to shout them down because they can't articulate their case to counter it.
Right.
So they just try to shut you down.
And I guarantee you, if DeSantis had asked Charlie Crist a question directly, Crist's next response is, "Oh, I thought we weren't supposed to ask each other questions." And that's all he fucking did all night was ask
yeah.
DeSantis questions.
Well, and he kept hitting him on the trying to run for president.
I don't think anybody's mad about that.
No, it's an absurd thing to hit on, and we don't even know what's going to happen in the 20. Is DeSantis, if Trump runs, is DeSantis going to run against him? I don't think.
Well, you don't know. You don't know.
I don't think we know.
But the thing is most people in Florida, because I've often said I'd like to see DeSantis as president. Most people in Florida say, I would too, but I hate to lose him as governor.
Yeah.
Well, even if he runs, we only miss 2 years. I mean, it's not like we're missing.
Yeah. It's
Right.
Termed out. So.
Right. I mean, so I've feel the same way. I've said that before. But I mean, in reality, we're missing 2 years, and Nunez would move in at that point as lieutenant governor, and she's been pretty solid too. So I think we're in a good spot there.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the lines, I'm going to jump straight into it.
Do it.
This is the first thing I saw from the debate because I played last night, and I'm driving home and somebody sends me this clip that we can't play right now because we're working on technology. But I'm going to read what DeSantis said. It was in regards to the COVID shutdowns and things of that nature. Now, let's clarify. The Democrats wanted Florida to stay shut down longer.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they wanted. Charlie Crist had the gall, the fuzzies, the nuts, which Democrats don't believe in, apparently.
Well, I don't. You can call it that. I think it's cowardice, yellow belly. But
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To sit there and say, Governor, in the history of Florida, you're the only governor in the history of Florida to ever shut down our schools. You're the only governor in the history of Florida to shut down our businesses. Okay, what do you want? I mean, that's pure Alinsky method, is what that is. It's bob and weave. I mean, in the previous statement, DeSantis talks about a letter from Charlie Crist as congressman saying, look, you really need to shut down stuff. You need to do stuff. And then Charlie Crist, right after that, comes up and says, you're the only governor to ever shut shit down. I mean,
It's absurd.
Absolutely absurd.
Well, it's got just enough truth in it to where midwits will grab onto that and be like, oh, he does have a point there. However, if Charlie Crist, as a Democrat, I'm assuming, I guess 2 years ago he was a Democrat, maybe he was I don't know, we're 47 parties deep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would we still be shut down?
I don't know. It might have been pretty interesting if Charlie Crist was governor, because 1 week he's a Republican and we're open, the next week we're closed.
Yeah,
might go back and forth.
Wasn't he pro-life there for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was very pro-life at one point. Yeah. Apparently that's changed.
So
he thought he could win an election based off of it.
Part of his statement there is factually true, but there's context, right?
Right.
And
Oh yeah.
only dumb people don't understand the context.
I really think that even people on the left were like, we can do better than that comment, because it really didn't have the impact. I don't know what kind of impact you would say when literally in the sentence before that DeSantis said you wrote him a letter saying you should lock down Florida, and then you come back with you're the only governor who's ever locked down Florida.
Well,
You should be happy about that, Charlie.
well, Dan,
Like ridiculous.
I think the Democrat voters of Florida made a key miscalculation and they go on bikini populism. Like I strongly encourage them.
Right?
Oh,
We'd have
Lord.
had a much better debate. Or at least more like Charlie, it's time to get outside, bro.
Yeah.
Like I know you
He looked whitewashed.
I know as you said in the debate that you love Florida with all your heart. Well, maybe you should love sunscreen a little bit. Just not with all your heart.
Leatherface.
I mean, dang, man. How many times can you get that stretched and spray tan, brother?
Look, dude, I've sat in bars in Key West where guys looked better than Charlie Crist, and they were alcoholics and just got 50 cents from somebody off the street
Smoked
to
3
come in.
packs of
And,
cigarettes a day.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was. But anyways, Florida's Democrat voters are not listening. Had we followed the bikini populism model, we would have been much better off.
Would have been. I think it would have been a more entertaining debate.
a lot
Yeah,
more.
Definitely
lot
would
more
have been more
entertaining.
visually entertaining.
Sure.
Okay.
Look,
Wait,
unless
stop.
she's wearing a bikini, it's
Okay,
not.
but
as
I don't care what Nikki
entertaining.
Fried's wearing. It looks better than Charlie Crist.
Well, good point.
Well, I
fair,
guess.
fair
I guess.
point.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I mean, it's not the same thing. See, I know the difference between men and women.
Yeah, there's been some comments recently, but I assume you would have a preference of looking at Nikki Fried as opposed to Charlie Crist. May not be
Yes.
enjoyable either way.
Yeah, neither one. It's a lesser of two evils kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess. I would. Yeah, I would. I would
do not
enjoy
think
that
Nikki
more.
Fried is attractive at all.
Okay, we understand that you feel that way, but she's.
Well, apparently the
but-
way Travis is looking at me, I feel the need to reiterate that fact.
Well, the thing is,
I mean, I'm dumbfounded.
Nikki Fried is by far, by miles, more attractive than Charlie Crist.
Okay, so when you guys sat down and thought about how this show was going to go, talking about the debate,
Dan,
did you
do you think
visualize that
I
this was
didn't
gonna
plan
go?
out talking about bikini populism?
I guess
Do you think I was just winging that?
Yeah,
I
did.
totally was.
I totally, absolutely. Just winging it.
But it's true. It's a valid point.
It is a valid
Right.
point.
It did run through my mind last night. Like, well, if I was going to listen to somebody spew nonsense, I'd at least like to enjoy visually what they were saying.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but she's not going to sit up there at a debate in a bikini, so you wouldn't have.
It's still better than looking
It's-
at Charlie Crist. Like,
Dude.
you're really missing the point here.
Look, did you hear my analogy about the guy in the bar in Key West?
Yes.
Okay. Would you not agree that Nikki Fried looks better than the guy in the bar in Key West?
Yes.
Thank you. Finally.
I mean, Lord.
Not by much.
Oh my God.
Oh, stop. Stop. Some old salty ass drunk dog in
Listen, I
living
look at
in the
Nikki
Pirates
Fried and
capital.
I see a drunk dog.
Well, I mean, she was drinking Budweiser.
Let's move on. This
All right.
is
This is
Dan,
kind of
Dan,
stupid.
Dan's just being
All right, I've got the transcript of the debate pulled up, and what I'm trying to do is find a particular comment another stupid comment that I thought Chris made about the debate about masks, where he actually said, and this is how we're going to determine if this transcript is actually accurate. He made a comment, and I'm still looking for it while I'm talking about it, where he actually said, "Well, we don't need masks now, but we needed them then." I mean, that's paraphrased.
No, but yeah, that's kind of what he said. He
Yeah.
said, I know when something about you should know when we need to pass and when we don't.
Well, and
Yeah.
what I thought the biggest
We need
miss
him
for
then, we don't need
DeSantis
him now.
was when, he was like, oh, I would have listened to doctors. And like, okay, well, DeSantis was bringing in, Martin Koldorf and Jay Bhattacharya and
Yeah.
Joseph Ladapo. I listened to those scientists. Are those not good enough? Robert Malone and like all these different people that had, they had thoughts
Like,
and they had
Literally
facts.
the guy who invented the mRNA
Right,
vaccine.
exactly.
I brought him
So-
in to talk to him.
Like I thought, to me, that was honestly the biggest miss of the night for DeSantis.
Yeah.
Was he had facts on his side. He was getting doctors involved, but it just wasn't the doctors that Charlie Crist agreed with. And more so, the miss is you could have said, well, I have these doctors involved. You would have had Dr. Fauci, and you could have made a real nice point. right there.
Especially with the information we're getting now
Right.
about how wrong all the experts were.
Correct.
Over the entire
Well, and
time.
that's another miss that could have been brought up as well. Look, my administration was proven right based on the current data we have.
Well, you countered the science narrative with the expert class.
Yeah, the science.
Separate
narrative.
them from science. Like you're talking the science narrative, but it wasn't real science. It was
Right.
not facts based. It wasn't real science.
Right.
So now the real science is coming out because we had enough time to look at it, and they were all wrong.
Right.
All the expert class was wrong.
No, it wasn't all the expert class. DeSantis brought in experts. DeSantis had
no,
experts
It was
there.
I'm sorry,
their experts.
The expert class that they pushed
Right.
were all wrong.
I don't think you see the ground that experts, because he had experts in literally everything on his doctor's roundtable helping him make decisions.
Yeah.
All you got to do is say, oh well, we had all of these doctors, quote some of their credentials, make a quick jab at Fauci, and boom, it's right there. Like the whole point was right there.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I thought what he did was good, but to me it was just a miss. Like you could have really hit a home run there, and I think he hit a Bush League single.
Well, to be honest with you, this election is not going to be won or lost based on that debate.
No.
It's not even going to be close.
No. And to be honest with you, when DeSantis ran against Gillum, he wasn't that great in the debate either.
Yeah, I don't think the debate's a good format for DeSantis.
No.
Just to be honest with you.
No, it didn't. I mean, he looked out of his element. I've seen him speak live. You see him on his live streams when he's doing a press
We're
conference.
going to see him tomorrow.
Yep, we absolutely are going to see him tomorrow.
I think me and him grabbing a sandwich before he talks, but I haven't finalized it yet.
Working on it.
Just bros hanging out.
Okay.
Trying
Okay.
to get him in the driveway.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in our county. He ain't that far.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Chancer, what's up, dude? Right.
Right.
Thought you were going to try to set that up, man. Not to call you out on live stream, but we do need to call you out.
Right.
I mean, we got the Gates team calling us. We can't get our own governor. I mean, right?
Hey, we're gonna see Gates this week. Well, I'm not.
I am. I am.
You're gonna see Gates.
Oh, you're not going?
No, I got
How many times
I
has
got a
that
football.
gone?
He's clocking shit.
I got a football game.
He's doing a middle school football game.
No. I told you because we don't have enough officials. We got to do Friday Night Lights on Thursday.
Dude.
Because not only are we short officials, but the best of us are injured.
So you saying you're not the best of us is what you're saying?
I'm injured. I'm one of the
But you're
best.
going to be there doing the clock.
Yeah, but I can't be on the field.
Dude, you're still doing officiating.
Yeah, but when I'm on the field, doing the clock is nothing compared to being on the field. So there's 20 guys sitting at home that can do the clock.
Why are they sitting at home?
I feel
then?
like there's a lot more than 20.
Because he's
Yeah.
given me the job
Dude.
to do the clock because I can't go on the field.
I feel like there's a lot more than 20 guys that can run the clock.
Yeah.
There's probably
I feel like about
20
a
guys in our association that can run the
I
clock.
feel like about a 5-minute crash course, and my 15-year-old daughter can run the clock.
Start, stop, start, stop.
Hey, that dude in the white hat, just watch him. He's gonna tell you what to do.
Sometimes there's other guys that'll tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
So we digress.
Yeah, we have definitely digressed.
all right. So what was some other points? You had the transcript.
Yeah. I may have closed it. We got to talking about running clocks.
So
and
can we
that made me
talk
feel-
about the hurricane response question?
Yes, let's do that.
So initially this debate was scheduled for earlier in the month, but because of Hurricane Ian, it got moved back.
right?
So Crist blamed DeSantis or criticized his response. Now, Biden was here and Biden praised DeSantis' response.
Right.
So go figure. So Crist is like countering Biden.
The guy
I mean, it's a
he votes
losing.
with every time.
Yeah, it's a losing situation. And
well,
I actually was listening to something where somebody said maybe he should go on the board and change the spaghetti model. Remember when Trump did that? I thought it was hilarious. Because all the models were having to go into Tampa.
right.
So, you gear up and he had Tampa. But the response in Fort Myers was
Well, and I think DeSantis' response to Chris' criticism was, look, we empowered the counties to make those decisions, and we did everything we can. We provided them support and all of this, and Chris was on the attack, and he was attacking him for everything that he thought he could get away with.
well, because that's all he has is just.
Well, just none of it makes sense.
Did
Like, it was
did
nonsensical
Crist,
attacks.
Did Crist one time say what he would do as
No,
governor?
Not at all.
At
Not
all,
at all.
anytime
Not
the
at
entire
Not
time?
at all.
Not once.
And I specifically listened just to what you would have done. No.
And he also
What are you
avoided.
going to do?
Well,
What
hold
are
on.
you going to
Hold
do?
on. Wait,
all
let's
all
be
right.
fair. Let's be
Listen, he's going to let you kill babies.
Yeah, okay.
That's it.
That's it.
Right.
He's
He's
going to
gonna
let you kill babies, and he's going to allow a woke agenda in the classroom.
He's
for
going to allow
kids.
you to cut boobs off of teenage girls.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to
And
do that
penises off. of
and
teenage
shut
boys.
down the state.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, if we have monkeypox 3.0 or
Oh yeah,
whatever
he's
the
going
hell's
to shut
going
it.
on,
Off topic.
gonna shut it down.
Weird how when kids and dogs started getting monkeypox, it just disappeared from the news.
Right.
Crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Isn't it
Anyway.
weird?
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, but yeah, he criticized that, and there's another point of contention. As somebody, my last corporate job before I went into business myself, I was third from the CEO of a Fortune 100 insurer. I was licensed to operate in insurance in 22 states in this union. So I was considered an expert in insurance. Chris attacks DeSantis about the cost of property insurance. Now, the government in each state does approve rate hikes or disapprove them, but they also mandate that an insurance company must have a certain amount of money on hand to pay claims. And they also mandate that they have to charge the rates that is sufficient for keeping that money on hand for paying claims. So to sit there and a lot of people don't realize this. It's kind of deep into the underwriting side of insurance. But for Crist to criticize DeSantis when Crist sat in that governor's mansion, was
the whole night
just,
Crist acted like he was never governor.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, he avoided any topic
Right.
so other than crime in what he
Right.
did.
Yeah, I mean, except like maybe a couple of good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Right.
throw out, when I was governor, we lowered insurance rates.
Well, and when he was governor, it
was a totally different world.
Totally different world. You know, we've had a Cat 5 hurricane hit since DeSantis has been governor. Wait, no, he wasn't governor yet.
It was right before that.
Right before that.
Then we got a Cat 4.
We had a Cat 4, and we've had several Cat 3s and 2s hit. We've probably had more hurricanes hit Florida in the last 10, 12 years than any other 10 or 12 year period combined. I mean, you know, in recent history. And for Chris to just criticize him on insurance policy and stuff like that is just, it's absolutely ridiculous. But it was a point for Chris because most people don't understand how insurance works. They just see their rates going up and they start bitching and blaming the insurance.
And DeSantis' response about the litigation, that's the common response we keep hearing, right? Is that it's a litigation issue. Is a lot of it because, what was it? DeSantis said like 8% of the homeowners insurance policies are written in the state of Florida, yet 80% of the litigations are in Florida.
Yeah.
Now, part of that is hurricane relief.
And he also talked about how it's costs twice as much to replace your roof as it did.
Well, because of inflation,
because
and labor, and
he kept saying the Biden-Crist policies.
Right. Yeah.
He kept associating.
well,
Crist
and I
with
thought
Biden
that was
policies.
another point of contention that I had with Chris. He literally brought up inflation in Florida.
Wait a minute, that's my word.
Well, I'm stealing your
All
word.
right, you can borrow it.
He brought up inflation in Florida as if inflation wasn't all over the United States.
Yeah, some of the stuff he said was absurd.
You know, I mean, you got to give him some points.
Yeah, but he's playing to his own, not his base, but the left base,
Well,
and he's not winning. He didn't. Did he win over?
Well, what he was trying to do was take all the bad stuff in the country and blame it on DeSantis because DeSantis has been in office. That was what he was trying to do.
And he was
Inflation in Florida,
not effective.
you know,
Well, I
home
mean,
prices in Florida,
If we just look
insurance in Florida, and it has happened under DeSantis. But part of it, home prices in Florida have risen because of DeSantis' policies.
You're right.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
a good thing.
The whole freaking world is moving to Florida.
Right. Right. And that should be viewed as a good thing.
Yeah.
Now, I understand the side about, you know, a housing shortage, workers can't afford. I get all that.
But it's just another testament to Crist's big government mentality of home rent and houses are too expensive in Florida. What are you going to do? Why did you let that happen as governor?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with you.
Right, absolutely.
Your job is not to regulate housing prices.
No, it's not to regulate.
We don't
any
want you
pricing.
involved in any of that.
Absolutely. If you just do a Google search, and I typed in DeSantis Crist debate, and you go through and you look at just the headlines. If we get down to the headlines,
Of course, who owns Google? It's
yeah. Well, we know
You
it's
don't-
liberals,
you don't-
but this is what most people are seeing. The average Joe that's not as engaged in politics, they're going to see DeSantis in testy debate with dim rival. That conjures images of DeSantis losing. DeSantis refuses to commit to serving full term. That's a negative headline. Chris to DeSantis, will you run for president? There you go. Once again, who won? CBS News, and then you probably read that article, and they're going to declare Crist a winner. Who won Florida governor race? Fact checks, which DeSantis should win that.
Who's doing the fact check?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the key. Crist attack in rowdy Florida governor's debate.
Wes, click on that poll. Click on that poll. Go back up.
This one.
Yeah.
All right, and we're sorry you can't see this at home. We need Patreon supporters so we can upgrade our technology yet again.
Yeah.
So,
Who do you think won the Florida gubernatorial debate? Does it give it a result?
there.
63% Charlie Crist.
Oh, that's a Tampa.
Oh, yeah,
that's a Tampa
WFLA,
site. So
Tampa site, yeah.
I'm shocked it's that high.
85,000 responses, or 88,000 responses.
Right. But I mean, you could click on any one of these articles.
Well, they're all left slanted.
Yeah, absolutely. But USA Today, which used to be a reputable news source,
Not anymore. Hasn't been for a while.
I mean, potential Republican. This is the leading paragraph. Potential Republican presidential candidate. That's the first four words in that sentence. Ron DeSantis repeatedly refused to commit to serving another 4 years as Florida governor if reelected, and said during a debate Monday he is currently focused on defeating Democrat challenger Crist. So that's actually a conflict right there in that one run-on sentence that they wrote.
So the only argument they have to defeat DeSantis is
That he may not
he's
serve
not
his
going to be there
full
his
term.
full term.
You know what? 2 years of DeSantis is better than 4 of Charlie Crist.
Yeah.
That would have been my comeback had I been in that debate last night.
Well, I thought so. Probably the funniest line I thought was DeSantis' response to the whole presidential stuff.
Yeah.
And when he said the only old donkey I'm looking to put out to pasture is you.
Right?
Right. So that was I
That was a
laughed
double
out loud.
dig.
Yeah.
That was a good comeback, and it also answered the question for those that were doubting. And
Yeah.
I can't help but feel like if Trump runs, DeSantis is not going to run.
I was in that camp for a while, but I don't know if that's still holds true.
I don't think we're too divided as a country to pass up a good moment. If you have a moment, you got to take it.
Right.
What's the worst
You
that
do
could happen?
kind of have to strike while the iron's
What's the
hot.
worst that could happen? He goes and primaries a senator.
Yep.
Yeah, I think.
I mean,
I think he's going to run.
yeah. So
He's as hot as he'll ever be.
so,
2
yeah.
years after he's done being governor of Florida, he'll have to rekindle that.
So
Right.
Yeah.
So if he didn't run in 2024 and he ran in 2028,
Yeah.
it would be 2 years after.
Right.
So he'd be
And-
out of
and
the
it-
political
But he would
arena.
be announcing right after.
Sure.
And I mean, it would.
He spent 2 years of campaigning. I get that,
Yeah, yeah.
but
But you're right.
Still,
No, I'm
it's
with you.
it's a
Like,
pretty-
you got to strike while the iron's hot.
Right.
But the best line of the night that DeSantis delivered was about Charlie Crist only being at work 14 days
Right.
and making over $100,000.
yeah,
174
that would be
grand.
Well,
Yep.
and the way he said it was, imagine only having to work 14 days and making over 100. Like that, that phrasing there was just normal everyday Joe talk, and that resonated.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if anybody heard that line as just normal Joe Sixpack, they heard that and it resonated.
Well, I was, it's interesting because I do what Travis tells me not to do. I read the comments. And somebody actually said, well, how many days were they in session? It's like, well, if it was only 14 days, then we got a serious fucking problem with our government.
Right.
I would disagree, but
Well,
I
yeah,
assure
I
you
guess
it's a lot
that's
more
true.
than 14.
We want to.
I assure you it was a lot more than 14.
Right.
So, but all right.
It was beautiful.
Well, I'm kind of perusing the whole fact check thing.
So you know how many people have already voted in this election?
In Florida.
Yeah,
How many?
1.16 million.
Wow, that's strengthy.
Because that's by mail.
No, I thought early vote was already open.
You know,
Early
Yes,
voting
I
opened
think
the
it just-
11th, didn't it?
just opened, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what they.
I don't know. One of our listeners texted me he already voted.
All right, well, 1.16 million voters have already cast ballots by mail. So that's 15%
Right.
of who voted in the last gubernatorial election. That's a big number.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, I'm getting bombarded because
Along
Dr. Oz and Fetterman debates going on right now.
along the lines of Chris' criticisms of insurance, there were no major storms when Crist was governor. No major storms.
Well, it's because of his climate policies, Wes. DeSantis' climate policies is causing more
that's right. My
and
bad.
stronger hurricanes.
My bad. My bad.
I wonder, do people know that this is the second time that Crist is run as a Democrat?
I think people forget that.
Is it?
He ran against Rick Scott.
Well, and another question is,
2014.
why is he wanting to leave Congress and run for governor again? Has anybody asked Chris that question?
Well, the answer is he wants to run for president.
Yeah.
That guy is president? No fucking chance.
No.
Okay. All right. He's clearly delusional.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
that's
That's true.
literally politics is all he has.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
And
Sadly, that's the case for a
look,
lot.
every congressman and every senator, there's 535. There's also 50 governors. Every one of them wants to be president.
Yeah.
100%. If you ask them in a truthful moment, they all want to be president.
How old do you think Charlie Crist is?
187 years old.
Seriously, how old do you think he is?
I don't know because I struggle with that because he looks like mid to late 70s. However, he also looks like somebody in their late 40s that smoked about 2 cartons a day.
That lives in a gutter in Key West and gets
And got
some
too much
change.
sun and has probably worked on too many fishing boats.
All right,
Right.
so give me a guess.
64 and a half.
66.
He just looked it up.
Yeah,
Y'all can see
yeah,
my
yeah.
screen right there.
but 64 and a half was a pretty good.
Yeah,
That's pretty
Pretty
close.
good guess.
Pretty close, yeah.
I mean, for all the Botox and plastic surgery,
and he's
fake
about to
tits,
be one out of 3.
running for governor.
Yeah.
for governor. And the only one he won was as a Republican.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be over for 2 as a Democrat.
Right?
If that doesn't give you pause right there, that anybody who switches parties just to have a chance,
Yeah.
that's I mean, that should be a red flag right there.
Right?
So he switched parties to run against Rick Scott
Yeah.
Right, and lost.
and lost. And it was actually a fairly close race, but
Yeah.
Rick Scott won.
He's still.
He's
still
going to
lost.
get curb stomped in this race.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
I predicted, somebody asked me last night how wide a margin you think. I predicted 13,
okay.
which
Wes?
is in Florida
Oh, that's
a monster.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like
monster curb
60
stomp.
an hour.
See,
Well, he's
I
polling
would.
11.
I like to gamble, but I'm maybe 8-9 points is what I would think.
I'm thinking in the 9.5 to 10. I
He's
don't know.
polling
Like,
11, and
There's a 3.5.
who
Usually
runs,
a 3 to
who runs the
3.5.
polls.
Yep.
They're usually skewed to go more towards the Democrats. That's why I said 13. We give an extra 2 points. We're not doing a break in this thing, right?
No, we don't get those. If you
All
need
right.
to pee,
I'm
go.
gonna go take a break.
So-
I'll be back.
So I think another thing to point out. I mean, a lot of people give us flack because we didn't grow up in Florida. Chris was born in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Altoona?
Altoona.
It's your people, Dan.
That's your folks. Damn. Matter of fact, a shout out to our folks in Pittsburgh, man. We've got a lot of listeners who have started tuning
Yeah.
in from Pittsburgh lately.
You know, we've got a clip. We'll play it at our next cast. It's more evergreen,
Right?
probably if we get around to it.
Yeah.
You know, I can't ever guarantee. Of NBC doing a panel with a bunch of folks from Pittsburgh,
Mhm.
and that panel was phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to tune in, and you got to hope we remember
Yeah. Yeah.
that we get to it.
Yeah.
So that'll be about 3-4 days from now. Well, actually, be longer than that, because we're doing this a night early because like I said, me and my buddy Heavy D are hanging out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. If I'm not invited to that, I'm going to have to question our friendship if you're legit.
You don't have to question it.
Yeah.
If I get that, I'm gonna go. I mean, I'll hope I can love you, but if I can't, sorry.
Yeah. Well, I need to question who the other friends are that are helping make that happen, and
What do you think
question
those other friends?
why, how close friends they are. So, yep.
Anyways, oh man, it's weird seeing an empty on the live stream, seeing an empty chair where Dan's at. It's not really.
Right.
I will say Dan's got the logo frame just about perfect. That's good for Dan. I think that's completely inadvertent.
Yeah.
But that's a good looking flag we got there.
Yeah,
All
it
right,
is.
he's back. We'll stop talking bad about it.
Right.
I don't know when you had to bring up Pennsylvania as I was leaving.
Yeah, we
Well,
didn't make it much further than
That was on purpose.
Altoona.
that. He's from Altoona.
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah,
that in
we
relationship to Bradford?
It's south of Bradford, so we didn't
Like
go all
south,
the way
like
to Altoona.
400 miles south.
Nah, about 2 hours south. So
So 100 miles.
yeah, 100 miles.
No, I like
We used to we had track meets in Altoona.
that. All right, so
That's where the
anything
Yinzers things come from. Pittsburgh, Altoona,
else? Yinzers?
Yinzers,
Look.
Yins instead of y'all.
Ewins.
Yins, it's Yins in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, you missed it. Like, we had a big surge in Pittsburgh listeners.
Yeah.
Did we really?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that was after your Dolphins beat up on the Steelers.
Right.
They didn't really beat up on the Steelers. I was kind of disappointed, but I'll take a win as a win in the NFL. So
That's true.
take it.
That's true. And Tua did not get hurt.
Although he tried
Yeah, he did try.
twice.
Right.
Oh, it's coming.
Well, he can't help. I mean, listen,
It's definitely coming.
you can't turn that off. Like when he's trying to get it's 3rd and 8, and he's trying to get a first down. He puts his shoulder down and goes.
Right.
You can't turn that. You cannot make yourself not do that when you're a competitive person.
Yeah.
Why not?
So
Are we doing beer reviews?
Oh, we might as well. I mean, we've got 15 minutes left.
are we just trying to find content? In
No,
No, no,
I
no, no, no,
mean, I know
no,
you
no.
got slides we can talk about.
I got all kinds of
I'm
stuff.
drinking
Yeah.
Miller Lite.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So did you guys hear about the guy?
What?
We're not. Are we? I thought we didn't do beer reviews in this show.
Why would we not do? We always do beer reviews.
Okay.
I just
What,
did a beer
what
review.
podcast do we not do beer reviews?
I just
I
did
think
it.
the last one.
I
We
literally
didn't
just
do
did.
beer reviews
I
because you were
lit.
drinking Truly Blueberry. If I'm looking into the future,
That was that's the next podcast.
Right. What are you drinking now, Dan?
Nothing.
Okay.
I don't have anything
Are you
yet.
out?
Hold on.
You drinking a Yingling?
I got a Yingling
All right.
There you go.
There you go.
with my daughter's picture on my koozie.
That's sweet, man. That's very
It's my
sweet.
baby girl.
That's her.
So, in honor of being upgraded to the beer captain, not just the captain.
I don't know who arbitrarily gave you that title.
He
but
did. He bought the hat.
He bought
I
the
didn't
hat.
buy the hat.
Oh, okay.
I was given the hat
Okay.
and promoted to beer captain.
By
Okay.
no
Well-
one affiliated with the show.
Right.
Yeah, by someone very close to the show, actually.
All right. You?
Huh? Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we've established that.
Okay, but I am drinking Stella.
Stella.
Because if you're going to be the beer captain, you got to be super classy.
Right. And we established in another cast
In
that,
the next
that
cast,
Belgium,
Belgium is near
Brussels,
France.
Brussels,
Is
Belgium
near France.
is near France.
Kind of,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's in the same continent as France.
It's on the same continent as France. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man.
Wes, nice visor.
Wes,
Thank you, man. This is for my breakfast in the morning with Heavy D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's just trying to. Make me mad. He just mad me and Heavy D gonna hang out. have some sodas, some ham and cheese sandwiches. Like, it's
Man.
not that big a deal. I don't know why you might be upset.
We're getting some
Like, we're
shrimp.
just broing out. Like,
We're getting
it's
some
cool.
shrimp yayas. What we're doing in the morning for breakfast.
Shrimp, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's an expensive
Pretty
breakfast.
hefty breakfast.
Hey, you know what? I mean, have you seen his war chest?
Yeah, I get it.
That's
it's
true.
covered.
That's
But
true.
I don't.
It's covered.
Okay, all right, whatever. I'm just saying, shrimps and yaya is not really a breakfast. In my
Brunch.
view,
Brunch.
We're
late breakfast.
we're
That's actually
well,
as dinner as you can get.
Yeah,
man. Shrimps and
Shrimps.
shrimps and
I don't really view
grits.
shrimp as a breakfast protein.
No, not necessarily.
I'm not necessarily against it.
Unless they're covered in grits, then I can
Okay,
make
but
the case.
I also don't think the appearance of grits necessarily makes it breakfast per se. It's a starch.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily make it breakfast, but it helps.
Maybe.
Look, I am not the culinary expert on the
That's
show,
Southern breakfast.
but I am I am a dude who enjoys
I
grits,
prefer hash browns.
and
Yeah, we're
and
starting to get a little sprinkled, just FYI.
are we really?
Get my TV wet.
I'm more worried about this board than that $30 TV.
$30. It was $75. So it was a Black Friday special, $75.
All right,
Why-
hit us with one topic, Dan.
Why it got to be black?
Hit us with one topic.
Black Friday.
What?
Okay, go ahead and do it quick because
New York City Supreme Court ruled that all New York City employees who were fired because of their vaccination status had to be reinstated with back pay.
Yep. Now do the military,
It's freaking beautiful.
Right.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But this was the state of New York,
We got that. We got it.
their Supreme Court. did it.
Right.
So our Supreme Court would have to do it for the
Yeah, the
Federal-
federal Supreme Court.
Well, now that there's
precedent.
Yeah. Yep.
Hell yeah.
So I think these military boys can push that as precedent.
Yeah.
So the court order said there's nothing on the record to support the rationality of keeping a vaccination mandate for public employees while vacating the mandate for private sector employees or creating a carve-out for certain professions like athletes, artists, and performers. This is clearly an arbitrary and capricious action because we are dealing with identical unvaccinated people being treated differently by the same administrative agency. Fucking beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful.
And to clarify that, that's a state court, so they can't they can use that in an argument on the federal level, but it doesn't necessarily set precedent for the federal level.
They also
Just
stated-
like Biden's when he gave with the guys I'm tired. The marijuana thing where he supposedly was releasing all the prisoners
Oh yeah.
and giving them a pardon. There are no federal prisoners in jail for possession or distribution of marijuana.
Well,
That's all state level convictions.
well, it's that one. He said that one thing. There wasn't intent to distribute. Like there was because if you're caught with enough marijuana to be in federal prison, you've got intent to distribute. You've got all these other things. So that one law did nothing.
Right. You've got a farm and you are baling that shit and selling it. Yeah.
So the New York Supreme Court also stated being vaccinated does not prevent an individual from contracting or transmitting COVID-19. As of the day of this decision, CDC guidelines regarding quarantine and isolation are the same for vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals.
Very nice.
Boom.
Right.
New York.
Crazy.
About
Who
time.
would have thunk?
Yeah.
We got some rational people in the state of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I was born in New York. I got a ton of relatives in New York. There's a shit ton of rational people in New York. The problem is
The
you have
city
too many
of New
irrational
York.
people in leadership roles in the state of New York,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the city.
Right. Well, I want to give a shout out to the one person who has stuck with us and watched this entire live stream.
Was that Travis?
It's probably Travis.
It is. Yeah. because that person's logged in on my family laptop. The rain started to pick up. We got in this shit.
Yep. So I guess we need to go ahead and call it since we're getting rained out. And next week we'll move in a little more if it looks like it might be raining. So go ahead and like and subscribe to the podcast here on YouTube. You can go to Rumble and do the same. Like our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter. We have Instagram and TikTok. We don't do a lot with TikTok, but we still have it.
Is that rain or is that
follow.
wind?
That's
Well,
wind.
that's wind, but rain's coming.
Yeah.
It's good.
So, with that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Driveway Liberty podcast for Travis and Dan. I am Wes. We'll see you next
In
time.
my new relaxed pose.
Right.